Jamie Kalven is a Chicago-based investigative reporter and the founding executive director of the Invisible Institute. His reporting broke the Laquan McDonald story and brought this case into the national spotlight. And Jamie is with us tonight. We appreciate your time. On the eve of Van Dyke being released tomorrow, we have a lot of mixed feelings from people in Chicago, certainly his family, those involved in this case. You have been on this story since the start. You broke it. You were part of getting that video released. What's in your head tonight, your thoughts on the release?
Yeah, well, I share the mixed feelings. The day of his release came around quickly, which I think reflects how short the sentence was. I think what's difficult in bringing Mr. Van Dyke into perspective is that the case really had these two dimensions. One was it was a murder case. And I sat in the courtroom for 5 weeks, and it was really a classic murder case. But it's a murder case that carried this larger set of meanings and social importance, and really became the kind of framing narrative for this period in Chicago history. Just think about all the events that flowed from the murder of this young man and then the cascade of events that occurred after the video was released. So I think some of the ambivalence in this moment, there's the question of Mr. Van Dyke, and I think everybody agrees that on one hand, the verdict was a watershed, a great moment that I think had national as well as local implications. The sentencing following the verdict felt like some of the reach and import of the verdict had been taken back. But I think in retrospect, we want to hold on to a perception of how critically important that verdict was. And if you imagine what would have unfolded in the city and how we would feel about the prospects of change and reform if the verdict had gone the other way, if it had, as many expected, I mean, this was by no means a slam dunk. This was the first conviction of a police officer for an on-duty murder in half a century, and all but unprecedented. So I think we do need to hold on to that kind of achievement. But I do, sympathize deeply with the frustration of people because Mr. Van Dyke is the symbol in this other way.
Right. Do you think that he'll have a difficult time rejoining society, especially in Chicago?
I mean, obviously there's one level of that. He will rejoin his family and be reunited with his family, and I can't speak to that reintegration. I think he is forever, for much of the city, a symbol of state violence against the vulnerable and a terrible crime, an atrocity. And I suspect that will shape people's interactions with him for the rest of his life.
Do you anticipate that a federal civil rights case will happen now?
I would welcome it. It seems to me highly unlikely. Although it remains something of a mystery, the U.S. attorney initiated investigation. The FBI was investigating. There was a grand jury impaneled long before the state charges were brought, before the video was released. So I think one question people should be asking is what became of that investigation? And as your setup piece suggested, they may well have come to a conclusion that it would really be an extremely steep hill to climb.
Right.
Hard to know.
Jamie, before I let you go, this case became more about just seeking the truth and justice. It also became a focus on First Amendment rights and your reporting and your involvement. Was it surprising to you that what you uncovered, you then became part of the story and not just an observer of what was happening?
Yes, it was a surprise. I mean, I've been in that situation before, and what happened was the defense in the run-up to the trial tried to compel me, threaten me with contempt, to reveal sources. And I'd been in that situation before, but never in such a high-profile case. And it was quite something to sit in a court and hear the defense attorney for Mr. Van Dyke spin a story, a theory in which my reporting had prejudiced the possibility of justice for his client.
Right. Well, in the end, you did not give up your sources, and if it were not for your reporting after this had happened, this case may still be a mystery, and the outcome of this case and others may have been different. So, Jamie Kalven, we appreciate you coming on, talking to us, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.